Hey Grady, you wanna watch TV?
Sure.
Alright, let's go. Hey, welcome to Breaking News. We are going to do a live interview with Susan Henner, the immigration lawyer. Let's begin.
And now a warm welcome to immigration lawyer Susan Henner.
Hey Susan.
Thank you for joining us.
Hi, I'm Susan Henner. I'm an immigration lawyer and I'm here to answer some questions today.
Thank you, Susan. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in Venezuela that's causing so much distress and hardship there?
Yes, well, there's been decades of government mismanagement in Venezuela, which created this humanitarian crisis in Venezuela. And over the last few years, it's caused over 7 million refugees to flee from that country. So right now, over 25% of the population in Venezuela is requiring humanitarian assistance. The poverty rate in the country is over 95%, and 75% of the people are living within extreme poverty right now. And inflation last year is so high that people just can't afford to live in the country, and they're fleeing at rates that have never been seen before.
Thank you. What's one thing that you think people have a misconception about Venezuelan people?
Well, I think people in general feel like refugees are coming here and they're going to take away jobs from U.S. workers, and that they just come here and get a green card right away, and that's not the case. People from any country, and including Venezuela, once they come here, it's a lengthy process to be permitted to stay here. They still have to go to court, they have to see a judge, and the immigration judge will ultimately decide whether they're entitled to a work permit, a green card, and whether they get to stay here permanently. So, no one's taking jobs away from anyone, and they still have to go through a lengthy process in order to be allowed to stay here permanently. It's not an automatic thing.
Alright, now my question. Why do most people leave Venezuela, Susan?
Well, Max, most people can't afford to live in Venezuela anymore. There's no food, there's no medicine, there's no drinking water, there's no jobs. The infrastructure in the country just doesn't exist. There's also a lot of political fighting and political groups which are vying for control, and people just can't live there comfortably, so they're leaving in droves. They're fleeing to Central America and Latin America and even to America, even walking leaving without anything, with just the clothes on their backs.
What is the process for them to get into the U.S. and how difficult is it for them to get into the U.S.?
It can be very challenging. Some of the refugees may have a visa to come visit here or for other reasons. So for them, it's a bit easier. They would come in and maybe apply for something called asylum to stay here, or for we've given something called temporary protected status to Venezuelans right now. Other Venezuelans may simply just leave with nothing, with no visa, and just cross by foot or by car, train, bus, any way possible, and simply walk through Mexico and apply for a refugee status or a protected status at our border and ask to be admitted into the United States. And for them, it's a harrowing journey. They often get help they pay coyotes, they go any way possible to get here and to flee their country because they have no place else to go.
It truly is difficult. Once they're here, what challenges do they face in the New York area?
Well, it's very challenging because often a lot of the refugees face the problem of not being able to speak English and not having enough money to live here. They're not used to living in New York, which obviously has a very high cost of living. They're also not authorized to work right away, even if they file for asylum or protected status. It takes many months to get a work permit and a social security card, so they're not able to go out and get a job right away. Often they don't have a social security number or even a driver's license, so a lot of families are faced with challenges on finding a job, a place to live, or even access to money when they first get here.
For those listeners who are interested in helping the cause, Susan, what should they do?
Well, there are lots of organizations who provide free legal services. One of them I help out with and mentor the program. It's called the Safe Passage Project. It's located in New York City. The phone number is 212-324-6558. And Safe Passage provides legal services for free to people who need it. And they're also always looking for translators and people who are willing to help out to Venezuelans, Latin Americans, Central Americans who are in need of assistance. So if you'd like to help or just donate, that's the place to call.
I think that concludes our interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's be on our way.
This message is approved by Joe Byron.